Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to today's video. This past week I visited Hilton Head for vacation. On this trip I played well, relaxed well, and ate really well. So join me as I recap all of the adventures I faced during this vacation at the beach. As we drove closer and closer to the destination, the geography began to change. Spanish moss covered the branches and tips of the tall trees. The air switched to maximum humidity. More and more sunglasses appeared, and of course, my legs became increasingly numb with each minute in the car. As soon as we dropped off our luggage, my family and I darted to the beach. The nice part was that the resort was right on the shoreline. We had some fun, and that concludes day 0 of my vacation. Hey guys, I'm in the hotel room right now, and this week I'm going to be recording what I eat in a week and also all the activities that I do, so I really hope you guys enjoy. The vlog starts tomorrow, so I'll see you then. See you soon! To start off the first day of our vacation, I enjoyed a nice slice of cheesecake from the local Walmart. Trust me, the food gets much better from this point on. Our first activity was located at the Coastal Discovery Museum. We toured exhibits, learned about the history of this land, and even saw a few critters. My personal favorite were the fiddler crabs, who lived in little burrows. If you look close enough, you can see them crawling in and out of the tiny holes in the mud. There were also an alarming amount of lizards. While visiting, my sister and I completed a scavenger hunt. As a reward, we got this cool rubber bracelet. For lunch, we ate at the Skull Creek Boathouse, which was located right next to this beautiful dock. I ordered a grapefruit juice, and my sister got a pineapple juice. Mine was a little bitter, but it still had a tropical kick. The pineapple juice was sweet and refreshing. We got clam chowder. Guys, this was so good. The soup was warm with hidden chunks of potatoes and shrimp all throughout. Every sip was like a comforting hug inside my mouth. Next, we had the seafood platter. This was ginormous and so fresh. The snow crab, lobster, oyster, and shrimp all came chilled over ice cubes. The waitress suggested we dip the shrimp in butter and Old Bay, which definitely took it to another level. Each dipping sauce was packed with unique flavor. You could tell the food was fresh by the way the crab easily slipped out of the shell. We also ordered fish fingers with crinkle-cut fries. The fish was coated with a layer of breading, making it extremely crispy on the outside but soft and tender inside. Overall, it was airy and light. The dipping sauce was savory and the fries were great as well. Next up, we got the fried shrimp po' boy. The soft bun was packed to the max with flavorful shrimp, juicy tomatoes, and refreshing lettuce. The sweet potato waffle fries were super crispy. There was a hint of sweetness that was unique from your typical potato fries, but very welcomed. Finally, we ordered a hamburger with a side of mac and cheese. The patty was so juicy, as you can tell. The crunchy lettuce, melty cheese, and baked tomato slice made this burger so savory. The mac and cheese was baked to perfection, crispy on the outside but soft underneath. By the way, have you ever tried ketchup with mac and cheese? Don't yuck my yum! Alright you guys, that concludes day 1 of my vacation. So I'm not gonna have like an official dinner because the lunch was so big. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye everyone! Early next morning, my family and I set off to go parasailing. I'd never gone before, so this was definitely exciting. Up in the sky, I felt like I was flying. The salty breeze blew in my face, and hundreds of feet below my feet laid a vast and open ocean. I couldn't help but wish that I were part bird. Sweet, it's lunchtime again. On this day, we went to the fish camp at Broad Creek. First, we started off with the lobster bisque. Although there weren't any lobster chunks, I did taste bits of shrimp. This soup was very rich and creamy. Next, we got the Dufusky Island crab cake. Funny enough, that happens to be the island we'll be visiting tomorrow. This crab cake was soft and tender, very densely packed, giving it plenty of flavor. The sauce was savory and the asparagus helped cut down the saltiness. We also ordered the ahi tuna poke bowl. If you don't know what a poke bowl is, it's basically diced raw fish mixed with other ingredients. Ours had cilantro rice, pickled red onions, cucumber, pineapple, avocado, among other things. This dish had a slight kick of spice to it and was beautifully plated. Look at those colors! Up next, we got the fish and chips. Just like at the Skull Creek Boathouse, the breading was crispy and the fish was tender. Finally, we got lobster tacos. The lobsters, to my surprise, were coated and fried. They were covered in a sweet and sour sauce, which I'd never had with lobster before. This is just about as sweet and savory as you can get. For dessert, we headed to an ice cream shop called Hilton Head's Ice Cream. They had dozens of flavors, but I went with cookie dough. My sister got peach pecan. I gotta say though, this spoon dispenser was definitely a highlight. Back to the ice cream. My cookie dough had plenty of cookie chunks, which were chewy and sweet. The ice cream was so creamy, soft, and the perfect summer treat. You could really taste the sourish peach in the peach pecan ice cream due to the slivers of peach swirled throughout. The pecans gave a nice crunch and paired beautifully with the sweet ice cream base. While on a walk to explore the resort, we spotted turtles. At first, all we saw was a tiny head poking out of the water. But as we approached the pond, more and more turtles swam up. They were so adorable and carefree. I was also not expecting a giant fish. The best part was seeing the baby turtle. It was a tenth of the normal turtle size and swimming passionately at something. We even saw it ride on another turtle's back, like Crush from Finding Dory. Now, this is by far the most interesting breakfast we've had so far on the trip. Last night, I pre-ordered donuts from a bakery called the Purple Cow. They serve a variety of baked goods and coffee, but the line is always long. In fact, we visited them twice before, and both times they were sold out by noon. So that goes to show how crazy good their pastries are. The donuts are baked, not fried, and you can customize dough, glaze, and toppings. We ordered a dozen, so I'll just display all the customizations instead of listing them one by one. The donuts were sweet and fluffy with almost a cakey texture. I was so excited to try all of the different combinations and flavors, and they definitely did not disappoint. On the third day, we visited Dufusky Island. This small island is only 5 miles long with a population of just 400. The only way to get there is by ferry. The island has so many colorful houses, tropical trees, and kind residents. We rented a golf cart as transportation. Driving down a dusty road while gazing at the beautiful and wild nature is truly a calming experience. We decided to stop at a small beach. Unfortunately for me, I wore sneakers and spent the whole time waddling like a penguin on wispy white sand. To cool down, we visited a small shop to get drinks. I ordered a frozen peach lemonade. The slushie was so cold and refreshing, which was greatly appreciated after spending many hours under the hot sun. I also got an ice cream cookie sandwich, which unfortunately melted. And with that last drop of ice cream licked, we headed back on the ferry. Time for dinner. It's a little too late for lunch, but also feels too early for dinner. My family and I went to the backyard restaurant. First, we ordered a crab and tomato soup, which came in a cup. The tomatoes made the soup very tangy, and the crab added a nice salty touch. Overall, it was super creamy and rich with flavor. Next, we got a seafood purloo, which is this restaurant's take on a jambalaya. The rice was spicy and flavorful, which contrasted the soft fish. The springy shrimp added a refreshing touch against the heat. We also ordered a potato chip meatloaf. Instead of using normal breading, they added crushed up chips. The bread was thin but held the thick meatloaf well. The whole dish was drizzled with barbecue sauce, which obviously made it sweet and delicious. The mac and cheese was also stringy and gooey. In addition, we also got shrimp and grits. The base was almost congee-like and covered in a salty sauce. This added a kick of spice and made the dish very colorful. There was a generous amount of shrimp to top it off. Finally, for dessert, we got the homemade key lime pie. The filling was so tart and creamy, it just melted in my mouth. The pie shell was crumbly and sweet. So good. This morning, my sister and I wanted to go outside to visit the turtles again. As we were slowly pacing through the resort, I couldn't help but notice how these plants kind of resemble pineapples.
Oh, they're playing chase. Oh, never mind.
The main activity today was touring the harbor. We rode a ruby red colored trolley to get around. Inside, the seats and floors were all made of wood and the open windows allowed a nice breeze during the ride. Supposedly, there's alligators in these lagoons. Our first stop was at an ice cream shop called the Cinnamon Bear. Although we first ran in to escape the hot summer air, we soon discovered it was a really cute store. They sold toys, snacks, and accessories of all sorts. My sister got a penny souvenir. My personal favorites were these Lucky Charms. I'd never seen such a huge collection of Lucky Charms in one store. There were lemons, cardinals, lighthouses, and more. It claims that these tokens will bring you good luck. I got the lemon charm because it was just too cute not to get. The cashier wrapped it up super fancy in paper and a bag. As for ice cream, I got strawberry cheesecake and my sister got coconut castaway. The ice cream was so soft, creamy, and rich. Swirls of sour strawberry paired perfectly with the sweet cheesecake flavor. They even had free chocolate sprinkle toppings. The coconut castaway ice cream was so refreshing, and with the right amount of breeze, can bring you straight to the side of a beach. Mixed in, there were chocolate chips and almonds. One of my most favorite things are small shops. In this harbor, beside the lighthouse, there's a whole street of tiny shops with the cutest items. They range from pillows to bags to bracelets, dresses, hats, soap, and just about anything in between. Each shop has its own aesthetic, but none lack the calm vibe and welcoming atmosphere. On our final day of vacation, we went out for breakfast. My family and I visited the Southern Coney and Breakfast. The restaurant was retro-themed and decked with old-fashioned arts. I ordered banana pancakes, which were soft and warm. The banana made the inside perfect gooiness, and a bit of syrup created the ultimate bite. I also got a side of hash browns, which were fried to a crispy perfection. The potato was soft on the inside while maintaining a nice seared outside. My sister got the southern-styled biscuits and gravy. The biscuits were buttery and soft, and the gravy was so savory. It doesn't look the most appetizing, but trust me, it was great. My dad ordered the big breakfast special, which came with 3 eggs, bacon, sausage, tater tots, and toast. I'll be honest, the sunny side up eggs were a bit too runny for my liking. Tater tots are my absolute favorite food, and obviously they tasted great this time. The bacon was crispy, savory, oily, and the sausage made a great sandwich with the toast. Finally, my mom got the buffalo chicken sub, which is part of Southern Coney's brunch menu. The sandwich came with a side of onion rings. The buffalo chicken sub had a kick of spice and was filled with a variety of savory meats. Fortunately, the lettuce and tomatoes helped cut down on the saltiness. For dinner, we ate at Nunzio, an Italian restaurant. They started off by giving us a basket of bread with oil and vinegar to dip in. We each ordered a first and second course, then dessert. Because this is significantly more dishes than I'm usually used to, I'll only be introducing the food I ordered. For my first course, I got the mozzarella caprese. This dish included local tomatoes, house-roasted peppers, mozzarella, and other fresh ingredients. It was beautifully plated and definitely a change of style from the past meals I've had on this trip. I really enjoyed it. For my second course, I chose spaghetti. This came with San Marzano tomato sauce, house-made meatballs, and perfectly cooked pasta. Oh, and this is the face of someone who knows she messed up. First, I realized I was probably eating the spaghetti wrong. Second, it was really hot. Like cook your tongue alive hot. Nevertheless, this dish was amazing. Finally, for dessert, I got gelato. The vanilla gelato was sweet and the Belgium chocolate sauce was rich and delicious. There was even a homemade Italian biscotti on the side. My dad and sister ordered the panna cotta, which was so creamy and dense. It melted in my mouth and the plating was very colorful too. My mom got the cannoli, which had a fluffy filling and crunchy shell. Everything at this restaurant was plated so beautifully and it felt like I was eating art.
Oh my goodness.
The next morning, before leaving, we woke up early to watch the sunrise on the beach. Although I was sad about the vacation ending so soon, I was really glad I recorded everything. Editing this video feels like I'm reliving all of the events, especially the food. I hope you guys enjoyed this week's video. I know it's pretty long, so thanks for sticking around. Please subscribe and like for more vlogs from Dinagwa. I'll see you next week. Bye!